and welcome to the No Taboo Woo Woo Show.
I'm Sandra Logan.
And I'm Gail Chisholm.
If you enjoy being a fly on the wall of deep and meaningful conversations between pals on all things spirituality, healing, and personal empowerment, then you have landed in the right podcast.
Enjoy today's episode.
Hi. That sounded really hi. What's wrong with me today?
Welcome to my ASMR channel.
Oh, absolutely. Hello. I feel like it's a better hello and welcome to the No Taboo Woo Woo Show. Very Scottish, eh?
Hello.
Very Scottish.
Gail spills a card
I'm
for us
laughing.
today.
Yeah, I've just using the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light one. I felt called to do that. But I was just thinking, so I've got my first funeral in Lancashire tomorrow, which is very exciting. Although by the time this is out, it will have been done. But just laughing about, so one of the things when you've written something, you obviously have to deliver it, is like thinking about my cadence and the speed with which I talk. Although people who've got quite a broad Lancashirean, I can never say that, accent from round here are also quite fast and rapid. So we'll be fine. I'm excited about it. I actually quite like the service I've written as well.
Nice.
I like them all, to be honest. Like, I don't send the client something I think is shit, but given that it's been a little bit since I've written a service, this feels like a good one to come back to. And I keep saying thank you to the lady who passed. I'll keep saying thank you for picking me. I know she didn't pick me, but yes, she did pick me, didn't she?
Pick you. Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I'm going early just to make sure, like, the rhythm of it, where the buttons are, things like that. Because I've been before, but it's been a little bit of time. So yeah. Although my friend, I was messaging my friend yesterday, who's a celebrant up in Scotland, and like, she finished her training a year ago, and I was just saying to her, I was like, how amazing how things have gone on in this year, and she's got like her celebrant work is really starting to thrive, and like to the point where she's almost like so she works somewhere else part-time, when she's cut back one of the shifts, and I'm like, it's coming, you will be able to do this full time. She is amazing, and like, if anyone was looking for a celebrant up in sort of Fife, I would highly recommend her. So you can, if you are looking for a celebrant up there, just send me a wee message and I'll give you her number. But she was telling me at a funeral last week or the week before, the curtains for the committal, so this is where then, like, for most funerals, when you do the committal, which is your kind of, you say goodbye, and it's like the curtains close in a crematorium, and the curtains didn't close, they got stuck, and then they reopened, and then they closed again, and then they reopened and got stuck. No. And I was just like, holy shit. She was like, it was totally packed, but like, those are the sorts of things where you're trying to remain calm and, like, a sort of a key moment. And also, like, generally as well, you'll feel the energy in the room, because it's like, it's that real poignant bit where it's like you've almost in the whole ceremony brought everybody up to this sort of peak point.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but then the curtains are malfunctioning. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
So she would have dealt with it like a boss, though, because she's amazing.
Because I don't know if we're trying to close the curtains, being like.
The thing is, as well, is where it was, is like where the celebrant stands is so the sort of lectern's actually up a few stairs. On one hand, it's quite good because you actually look out over the heads of the mourners, so you're not really catching anyone's eye per se, but you couldn't just, like, if you tried to swiftly like get down, there's a high risk of tripping up and splatting your face down the or landing in the lap of somebody who's sitting in the front row. So yeah.
Don't want to do that.
These are the things, and then you just realize sometimes it's like, maybe the person whose funeral, who had passed, just wanted to have one last laugh. And be like,
Yeah, maybe. You're not closing
oh,
the curtains on me.
absolutely. Um,
Oh.
so the cards today. So I'm using, as I say, the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle card deck, and three cards came out. One is upside down. The one that's upside down is transformation. There are things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. That was the one that was on the bottom.
Oh, beautiful.
It's very
It's very Queen of
Egyptian
Wands
vibes.
energy.
Yeah, she's got a staff in her hand, and then there's like this sort of wave energy that's in her other hand. That was upside down. And then the other two cards are. It's funny because I did this the last time I did the card pull, is three cards came out and I felt that they needed to go bottom up, and I've done the same
Oh,
thing here.
yeah.
Star Mother was in the middle, and that is how can you mother yourself? So maybe that's a bit around a question around your deep healing. Maybe it's something to do with like a mother wound, or there's sort of real deep feminine side of things. I'm just laughing as this feels a little bit of um a follow on from the last episode where we
I
were
was just
talking
about to
about
say that.
the
Literally, so transformation, the death card popped out
Oh
alongside
no.
the Five of Cups, which is like it can be grief, and it was like this vulnerable message of like taking care of your heart. So this is interesting. Now it's
Mm.
almost like it does feel like an extension of that. So if anybody's landed
It's
here and
like,
hasn't listened
just in
to
case you
last
weren't
week,
listening, we're going to reinforce the message. And then the
yeah, let's
last
give
card that
her
came out
time.
is yes.
Oh,
Just say yes.
interesting.
Um, and it's like three, I wanted to say like three of cups there, but it's like three women, or it's one woman, it's the same person in the picture, but it's three women. And there's sort of a strong triangle theme. There's a lot of like pink as well. I feel that this is like, to me, this is saying, in terms of like your deep healing, and when it's like, I was suggested that it might be something on the feminine, or the maybe there's some sort of like mother wound, and just say yes is that invitation to lean into that feminine energy. Or maybe like if you're listening and maybe you've got a question or something you've been mulling over, maybe the yes is specifically for you to be like, just say yes. If you've got something that's sitting there that you don't know, it's like, just say yes. So maybe that's
Mm.
the message for someone else. But things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. These cards are also beautiful, like with the Rebecca Campbell cards are always really lovely in terms of the artwork. There's lots of like pink, and in fact, wasn't there in the last reading, you used your crystal deck and it had like pink tourmaline on it, didn't it?
Yeah,
Feels like
the
there's
Five of
this is
Cups
a
is really pretty.
continuation of the messaging, really.
Are you feeling called to read any of the messages from the Oracle?
Maybe. Just say yes, Gail. Yes.
Just say yes.
I feel like the one that's staring me a bit more is Star Mother. Let me see if I can find it, because this is always um I have to find it in this deck. It's a bit strange. Oh, here we go. 48. What section's that in? Inquiry cards. Okay, so
I do find that with that deck is that it's a bit of a faff because they're not numbered. So trying to find the
she did
cards.
change it for the other one I've got, which is the rocks
Oh, the ancient stones
stones.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is alphabetical, so it's much easier. Okay, so the inquiry around how can you mother yourself, this Star Mother. You are more held than you could possibly imagine, loved and cherished so dearly that if you knew, you would not spend 1 second of your life in separation, worry, or fear. I feel this is the answer to the Five of Cups card in the last week's episode. So if you've not listened to that, you need to go back and listen to it, because I feel this is a continuation.
Yeah.
Let the mother carry your burdens. Let her rock away your fears. Lay all of your worries, regrets, shame, and guilt on her altar. Please, please, sweet child, do not fear. You are love in motion if you allow it. You are already healed. Let her remind you of your goodness. Let her love away your fears. Your capacity to love and hold others is limited to your capacity to love and hold yourself. Be compassionate with your sweet body, mind, and soul. Treat yourself like the beautiful spirit that you truly are. Remind yourself that you're doing your best and try not to carry it all on your own. You have got this, and the mother has got you. Let her broad arms take away your burdens. Let her lift the weight of your world off your shoulders. Forgive yourself, my dear sweet child of the earth.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It feels like, I can't get that out of my head now. It feels like an answer to that Five of Cups card that came up last week around, because you were talking about, like, there's something going on internally, and I think I'd used something around like vulnerable, and and how you were talking about the card. It's a bit like this is a feels like an antidote or a way out of that Five of Cups feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking about
Um,
meeting your needs as well, weren't we? And it's like your emotional needs, like what is it that you need on an emotional level just now?
and there's quite a lot around as well. It's like things feel heavy, and there feels like a lot of burden. And so the transformation card, which I wasn't necessarily feeling massively called to read out, but so it says, maybe this is a nice message for somebody, or even for us, Sandra.
Yeah.
Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Things are changing at a cellular level. You are not who you were a year ago or who you will soon be. You are in between, emerging, half risen, half falling. Keep doing the work. You are transforming. You will look back at this time with awe. So much is happening in your inner world and within your cells. It's time to release old ways of being that have kept you in fight, flight, freeze mode. To choose a new way of being where trauma is not the driving force. Old childhood patterns are rising up to be healed. That's also a bit of the message you were talking about with the Five of Cups, because you felt it was historical.
Yeah.
As you allow yourself to observe them and feel them without attachment, they loosen their grip and fall away. You're being called to find new ways to self-soothe. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Ocean influence this card. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. This is totally the death and rebirth card. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside. And Oshun, Oshun, represents the tender love of the original mother, which is the other card. A rethreading. Oh, that's a beautiful phrase. A rethreading is happening, healing at the deepest of levels. While you're in this phase, don't put yourself under pressure to perform. You may need to review your relationship with your body, perhaps even shifting your diet or exercise regime. I feel this is a message for me. Or getting energetic healing support. You may also need to consider some kind of emotional support, as issues from your childhood may come up to be healed. You are deeply loved. There's an affirmation around this. It says to hold the card on your heart, but obviously you can't hold the card on your heart because it's in my house. But you can say,
Everybody down to Gail's.
I know, oh yeah, that would be cool. We could have a party. Hold the card on your heart, or hold the sentiment of it. Put your hands on your heart and say, I allow myself to receive the deepest healing and transformation for change to happen at a cellular level. What a nice card.
Beautiful.
What comes up for you with this, Sandra?
Do you know, it's interesting because in the last episode, it was Did I Not Talk something about threads as well, and it said something about a rethread, and it was like almost like threads. These two episodes are so interlinked. Well, it's interesting because, like, I think when we hear when we're reading the tarot, it's like, or the oracle, it's like, as a reader, you try and take yourself out of it. But with you talking about it, I'm like, okay, what's coming up for me? And maybe with this Five of Cups energy from the last episode, this is my opportunity to be vulnerable around these messages. I was doing a meditation the other day. So I was saying to Gail, I got this book out of the library. I've been working on my art. I've got a sketchbook that I'm like dedicated to drawing. And the only way I can get better is if I practice. So I am practicing. And some of them are shit. I can hold my hands up and say it, and I'm okay with that. But some of them are actually much better than I thought they would be, which is lovely too. Anyway, I'd seen this book in the library because I was like, I'm going to go and try and find a book about drawing so that I can like find out how to do it properly. And anyway, there's this one that I've forgotten the name of. It's Cam and Creative, I think it's called. It's by Sandy somebody. And in it, she splits it up into the chakras. And when I was working on the root chakra, she has these different exercises to do. So some of them are like meditation, some of them are artwork, things like that. So I really recommend it actually. If I remember, I'll put it in the show notes for anybody. Not sponsored, literally a library find, but I love it. And it was very much aligned for me. Anyway, one of the exercises in there was, it was looking at the animal totems for each of the chakras, and she had the elephant animal as the root chakra one. So I did the meditation to connect with the elephant animal spirit, and as soon as I connected with it, there was a vision of this elephant with the trunk, and the trunk like scooped me up and like held me close in this little cocoon. And it was like this real matriarchal energy, and it like brought this wave of emotion over me. And there's like, I'm in this meditation and there's tears streaming down my face, because it was this feeling of, I didn't know how much I felt like I needed to be held. And I've not been held by my mum because she's passed away when I was 13. And so I've had these layers of grief that I've experienced throughout my life, in moments where I'm like, God, I would fucking love to just have a hug from my mum, to be like, it's okay, to feel that nurturing energy, that unconditional love and support. And so in this vision, I just felt this wave of emotion, and I didn't know, it wasn't in my conscious awareness that this needed to come out. And this is the great thing about meditation, about really connecting with our subconscious, is like we get to these like hidden layers, we get to the subconscious level of what needs to be released and what needs to come up. And it also makes us aware of like, what do you need in this moment? And that for me, it was like this feeling of, you know, because like on as many levels as we can meet our own needs, right? But also it's like, well, what is that telling me about what I also need from others? Because we are not lone wolves in this journey. And so it really like spoke to me about like needing to take care of like that feminine side of myself, and like be more nurturing towards myself. And also that there's still residual energy. And this is the thing, when we go through a great loss in our life, somebody that has been so massive to our like who we are, especially like as a mum, like you wouldn't be here without them. Like they were the, you know, the portal for you to enter this world. And I think like that grief doesn't go away. There's just layers to it, right? And it's like we just evolve over time, and we learn to live a life without that person. But for anyone who, and this doesn't mean like for anyone that's going through issues like with mother wounds and things like that, it's like they don't even need to have passed away. It's like when we don't feel like our needs are met on some level, or maybe there's some wound, or there's maybe some conflicts that have not been resolved or whatever, there's energetic levels to that. And like in the last episode, we were talking about like Reiki, and Reiki is one of those practices that really helps to like shift the energy, right? And helps us to shift things on an energetic level so that we can, it brings them up so that we can heal them, right? But it's sort of really coming into the subconscious and connecting with what our needs are and what is actually going on under there, and allowing yourself to feel it, not having to make sense of everything, but it's just like feeling the emotions. And that was something that just needed to come up for me. So maybe that story will resonate for somebody out there. But it's a hard one, because it's like, it's that acceptance as well in the grieving process, that there's some things that you'll never have. Like I'll never experience that again. And that's been a hard one for me, like, because there is sometimes that you just feel like, oh God, I just really would like a hug from my mum. you know. And my mum was a very challenging person to live with, but she loved me. She loved me, and I knew that she loved me, and she did her best with what she had at the time. So it's sort of going inwards and being like, well, how can I meet certain needs, and what is it that I could potentially reach out to others for and be vulnerable, or to connect, or whatever it is, in a healthy way, right? And it's being gentle with yourself in the process as well, because some of this stuff can be really heavy. And for me, a big one with it, like, is nature. I'm always banging on about nature and feeling like that's been a great support for me, I suppose, through these different layers of grief, is being out in nature, because it's like I do feel a really deep connection with the earth and with animals and things like that as well. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. So hopefully that maybe helps something or pings something for somebody. Yeah, I don't have all the answers. I'm still figuring some of this out. But I always feel like it's in us sharing our own personal stories and our challenges and things like that that can support each other in some way. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think as well, like sometimes the best support we can have is to recognize that you're not alone, because it can feel quite a lonely journey if you're grieving for
Yeah.
someone or something.
Yeah.
And it was interesting the language you used around learning to live without your mum. And I think that's something that can keep us really stuck, is when we haven't figured out how to do that, and it's a
Yeah.
yearning for something that has is no longer here. And that's, I suppose, the trick. What's trick is maybe the wrong word, but like that's when we're trying to move forward and change our lives and do something. A degree of acceptance has to come first, to
Yeah.
accept the situation, to allow you to learn to live in a new way. But if we can't get to the point of acceptance, we end up going round and round and round, and the narrative in our head, we're in a loop, and it's tricky
Yeah.
to get out of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think, accepting a situation isn't an easy thing. And I'm not trying to say it is. I mean, for some people it's easier to move into that. And the other thing as well is that, grief for whatever it is isn't linear. And you might feel that you've reached a point of acceptance and you are living a particular way, but all it takes is something to trigger you back. And then you're suddenly in this loop again of like, the grief and the missing of the person, and like your life feels unstable, and I think that you can easily get knocked back into that place, even if you feel that you've accepted the situation and are moving forward. And that curveball could be anything. And that's the thing, isn't it, with grief, and that's what makes sort of it really difficult. And sometimes we don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
And I think if you're the person that has lost someone, um, it's, I suppose it's easier to talk about people who've also lost that person. But if some of that community has moved on and they're living in that place of acceptance, but you haven't, it can be quite isolating.
Yeah.
Um, and it's thinking, what are the tools that you can lean on, and um how can you get to that point of acceptance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can't change it, sadly.
No, that's it. It's learning to live with it, isn't it? And um it's sort of honouring your emotions and what's coming up for you in the process of it as well. Like for me,
Absolutely, yeah.
and then also acknowledging the growth that you've had and how much you have healed on your journey as well, because I think like you lose sight of that sometimes. Like if there would be no way in my early 20s that I would be able to even talk openly about my mum, because of the suppressed and the repressed emotions that I had within me. So to be now at a point where I can openly share this vulnerably, it's a big deal, and I check myself sometimes when, when I'm having a moment that feels a bit tender, is actually looking back and being like, well, look how far you've come. Look how much more emotionally balanced you are, how much trauma you've processed, how much of the whole generational trauma that I have actually taken and transmuted myself. It's like, acknowledge yourself for what you've been through and how much you've grown. And I hate the whole thing of like, but pain that happens to you, it's all for your own growth, and that. I don't hate it, right? I accept that, but hate's a strong word. But I think it's taking a moment to actually recognize yourself for that. And like that whole transformation card as well, like all the times that you've like rebirthed throughout your life, throughout the challenges that you've been through, and how much you've overcome on that journey. Because it's easy to sort of lose sight of that sometimes, and be hard on yourself. And I think that was one of the big things that I took away from that meditation, was about being much more gentle with myself. And it was, it was a moment where I had, a bit of a cry in a meditation, but then afterwards I moved on from it. Past Sandra wouldn't have been able to do that, because she was too much in the depths of it, where it's like these things is that reminder of energy moving through us, our emotions processing and allowing that to happen, not judging it, because I think that's the thing, especially like with that Star Mother card. It's the energy of unconditional love, and giving that, being that space for yourself, whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's light or shadow, because it's not always going to be just one or the other. It's a journey, right? It's a journey.
Yeah.
I am really curious, by the way. Would you mind pulling a card on the yes card from your tarot to find out what the fuck the yes card is about? Because I'm nosy.
Yeah, I can
Like
do.
to know what we're saying
I was
yes
just
to.
laughing because I went to the page on the in the little
Did you?
booklet on yes, and for those of you who are watching,
Oh,
what you can see is a whole page of yes. It's like yes, 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 yes. It's like don't overthink it, just say yes. Um,
mm,
it's
interesting.
yeah, maybe
Interesting.
let's see what the old Rider Waite might have to say about that. Um, like what are we saying yes to?
Yeah.
I was just looking at it while you were talking as well, and it's like each of the individuals is sort of connecting to this. There's like a little star. Two of them are holding a star, and one's like got the triangle, and this sort of star energies like coming down. It's there's in Kundalini, and in fact in the embodiment stuff as well, is there's a mudra where which is mudras, for anyone who doesn't know, is hand positions, and the theory being that sometimes our hands are a bit of like maps and energy, and it allows us to connect to certain things. But in the card, the middle, on the yes card, the middle lady is holding her hands as a triangle. She's actually holding it above her head. But there's a couple
Mm.
of that's a mudra in Kundalini. I got a book about Kundalini actually, and there was one where connecting some of the fingers, because they have different meanings. But the one that we've done in Kundalini is actually using it as like a heart space meditation. And so the triangle is above
Mm.
that, is at the heart space, and you're really focusing in on that heart energy. We did it in February around, because our theme was around self-love. Um,
Oh,
but
nice.
it's just interesting. I don't know why I've even shared that, because obviously that's not a question to say yes to, but it's just interesting with the mudra. What are we saying yes to, Rider Waite? Give us some more information, because it feels quite
And what?
distinct from the other two, doesn't it? It feels like a
Yeah, it
more
does.
standalone message, like somebody's
Mhm.
mulling something over. Don't overthink it, just say yes. What are
Mm.
we saying yes to? Oh no, we're not the whole deck. This card doesn't.
While Gail's
Oh,
shuffling, people, just to make you aware, she has actually just put out her live, I say live, but she has put out live now her embodiment classes, and they sound fucking amazing. So if you are interested in connecting more with your body and energy and working with Gail, I'm giving her a soft promotion here because she deserves it and she's wonderful and she has got so many fucking certificates. She has like got so much to bring.
She could
It's
stick it. It's
literally
really interesting what,
um,
like, when you have got the thing, you've got the certificate, and you're like, right, I'm doing that now. And then I'm like, I've created this page, I've learned all this shit that I probably, I'm not a coder, I'm not a marketeer or anything. But when you're a solopreneur, you are that person until such time as your income allows you to pay for someone else to do it. But it's interesting how you can get really stuck into the procrastination of setting everything up and what does it flow like and what's the messaging and how does this work, and then you're suddenly like, yay, and then you've got to like put it live and they're like, yeah, that's live now. And then it's like you might tell people once. So like my first class is on the 14th
of March.
of March, yeah, and it's like weekly Saturday mornings UK time. Well, there's a couple of Sundays because I can't do the Saturday, but the thing that I've been having a big dialogue in my head is around, you can't just post this once and leave it there, Gail. You've got to keep going, which is where the ick comes for me, because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to feel like I'm spamming people. But in the grand scheme of someone's social media feed, one post a day from me talking about something is not really spam in that sense. And the other thing I realized, so I've got some business social media channels. They're all under the same sort of name really, but there's some that are very specific around my business, and then I have like a personal page. So obviously, like, I've got a personal Facebook page, and then and I've got my sort of my LinkedIn page, and I actually posted on both my LinkedIn and my personal Facebook, not just the businessy type ones. But I was interested on the Facebook one because I was like, this is my personal page, so it has to be a more personal lens on it. It doesn't have to be, like, but I felt that, so there are tools out there, let's call them AI, that can help expedite the thinking process and maximizing posts that will perform, that will hit marketing down, blah, blah, blah. And you can program it to talk a bit more like how it sounds more like you. But it was really interesting when I posted on my personal Facebook page yesterday, and I was like, every person that's on there has met me or knows me in some kind of personal capacity predominantly, whether that is, it might be netball, or it might be like friendships, or it might be, woo woo world or whatever. And so I was like, I'm not using AI for that. Interestingly, I don't use AI for writing my personal Substack posts either, because I feel that it's the energy that I'm putting into it. I don't use AI for writing my ceremonies either, because I'm aware of the energetics and what I think you're investing into it. But so it's really quite fascinating when we start to think about this. And I think that more and more people can sense when something has been solely written by a bot. And that's not to say people don't, you can't, I think it's fine. Like, I don't have an issue using it. Like, but what I do see is, like, I can see now, because I use AI as a tool in my business, I can see when someone's post is solely AI. And I just think
Emails too.
and it's a shame, because it's like we don't trust ourselves anymore. It's like, we don't trust ourselves because everything's like a marketing and an algorithm, and everything's like, in fact, we talked about this in the pod that was released, well, by when this gets out, it'll be like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Like, we are multi-passionate, we are multi-dimensional, we have different things that we do in order to generate income into our lives. But when you come to putting that on social media, the algorithm's like, well, hold the phone here, you just need to be one thing. And you're like, but humans are not just one thing. And so everything has become so systemized. And this to me is where it's like standing in your truth and in your light and just being authentically you. And then we talk about this a lot, where we're like, when you think, oh, right, I'm in the 200 and odd prison or the 300 odd view prison on TikTok. But then you're like, if 300 people stop to listen to me for a minute. I feel like,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. I mean, obviously that doesn't pay the bills, but that's a totally separate business chat, which we're not doing here. Um, the card that came out on the Just Say Yes is the Four of Wands. The first thing that
Oh.
came to my mind is that I feel like this is a union. Like, because I
Oh.
know it's um like the thing that came into my, because the context of the question around what are we saying yes to, and I feel it's a
Hmm.
proposal.
Oh my
My initial
God.
instinct was like marriage, but it's something to like, it feels like a union or a celebration or a proposal on something.
Oh, that's
What do you
nice.
take from the Four of Wands?
Well, instant celebration came to me, but that's so cool. Like union as well. It's like known as the 1111 card,
Yeah.
isn't it? The Four of Wands.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like that whole sort of make a wish energy. And like proposal can mean anything, right? It could be a work proposal, it could be a project proposal, it could be a proposal to go somewhere or do something, or to potentially get married. So that is fascinating. Love that. I love
Mm,
a bit of Four of Wands energy. It's such a, it's
this
like
card.
Four of Wands is like you can rely on it. It's solid. It's on a firm foundation. There's a real celebratory energy with it.
It's funny, I asked if you wanted to share anything else. And what's interesting is the Seven of Swords came out now,
Oh.
which, so I'm in a tarot group, I'm in a WhatsApp group, which is like some tarot readers. And I think it was Janine, or was it Donna? I can't remember. Somebody, or maybe, anyway, you don't need to know. But hello, if you're listening. They shared an interpretation on the Seven of Swords, because it's often that deception, sneaky energy. But there was an alternative perspective, and this is really strange because I nearly shared this in the last podcast. I don't know why, because the swords didn't come up, but I just wanted to share this interpretation with you, so maybe that's why it's come out. And it's actually more of a um the alternative bit is, it is a card of discernment, and that you're only taking
Mm,
the things, you're taking some stuff and you're leaving some stuff behind, and you're making a conscious
mm,
decision on what's coming and what is staying. And it's like you're leaving some stuff behind because you're not carrying too much. And so,
oh.
you can't fit all seven swords in your hands. So you've
Mm,
decided you're going to have to exercise some discernment and leave some stuff behind and only carry what
mm,
you need. So maybe if this is in the
mm,
sense of a proposal, there's a bit of discernment required here. So it's, whilst it's saying yes, be a little discerning on the proposal or the opportunity or the celebration that you're saying yes to, maybe.
mm. Yeah, because that Seven of
It's
Swords.
also quite,
Oh, there's a lot of yellow
can I
energy
just
as
share
well, isn't
something
there?
that's like, yeah, but can you see? So this is where, if you're not listening on YouTube, if you're not already watching, go and have a look at this one, because this is quite interesting when you see the two cards. Is, if I line them up, can you see that the line in with the yellow ground, the sand or the
Oh
rock,
yeah,
is
it's like
exactly the
proper.
same? So it could almost be a scene.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know as well what's coming to me with that is like with the Seven of Swords, it can also be like what you're saying about discernment, but and I totally get that. I totally get that. And the thing that's coming to me alongside that is that in that deck, especially the Rider Waite deck, it's like he is stealing those swords so that the army can't hurt him and can't hurt whatever else matters to him. So it's almost like this self protection kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, let me take these away so that somebody else can't hurt me. And that's where we really get that sort of almost like self-sabotaging kind of energy starts to intermingle with that Seven of Swords. So maybe there's something linked to something that you're going to be saying yes to, that you feel like this has the potential to hurt me, but just be careful not to self-sabotage yourself in the process. Because the thing as well is, yes, he's carrying them away so that the army can't hurt him, But in that, he's carrying 7 swords and they've not got any shields on them. So he's potentially going to get cut in the process of running away with all these swords. So, so yeah, it's like, I think discernment is a great word to look at. Like, if there's a proposal coming in of any sort, is looking at, like, noticing what's coming up for you and being careful not to self-sabotage it, because it can go both ways, right? It's like you can hurt yourself in the process of self-sabotage, and then it's like, you know, the fears are coming up around like somebody else's potential to hurt you. I think especially with the Four of Wands energy, because it is this energy of like celebration and happiness, right? It's like, oh God, but what if I lose this thing, or what if this thing goes wrong, or what ifs, but not getting caught up in that, not getting caught up in that energy. You dive in deeper. Oh, I love when the pods go like this, when it's just like
I
properly
know.
like, oh, we're just going to
It's
roll
like
with
now
the
we're
energy.
into like a story of like, so I really hope whoever this message is for is like listening, going, "Oh my God, I'm sitting mulling something over," and like, it's because the other card that then sort of came out a bit was the Five of Cups, which I thought was funny because that came out last week.
Also,
It's
with discernment, people listening, you know your story and your life better than anyone else's. So always use your own discernment when it comes to any tarot readings, including ours. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Trust yourself above all else. Always trust yourself first.
yeah, and it's interesting following on from that. I was just thinking, looking at this Five of Cups card, which is the Rider-Waite, which is always a, you know, it's like we're sort of crying over the cups that have spilt in front of us, but we are forgetting to turn around and have some perspective and look at the other bit. And if this is about where maybe that's a reminder on the self-sabotage point, you know, like if you're, you know, it's like maybe this is an opportunity that's maybe a little bit left field. And then the Chariot's just popped itself out.
What comes to me is,
Maybe it's,
don't let the emotional pain from the past influence your ability to welcome in good things into your life, and your ability to move forward in a positive direction.
and that's maybe where like because the sort of the Seven of Swords and the Five of Cups feel a little bit similar type of energy. And then we've got the Chariot coming out, and that's that kind of more momentum and action and moving forward. It's, you know, like, you know, do something, take some action. The Five of Swords keeps wanting to come out as well.
That's mad.
It's twice
I
its
went to Five of Cups earlier, and I said Five of Swords. That's mad.
Towers on the bottom.
Oh, people,
Maybe
you'll need
this
to
is
let us
about,
know.
like you were saying, around like, it's like, so if we go back to the original question, like what are you saying yes to, and then this sort of Four of Wands came out, and it's like, but this is like a proposal. The thing that keeps coming back to me is it feels business rather than necessarily as much as initially I was like marriage, but I keep leaning more on business, but that could all be BS, and it could be take whatever it is for you, right?
It can be a business marriage though. Like if you think about marriage being in that,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
contract, there's a collaboration, there's a
yeah.
partnership.
I feel that there's a bit of like just building on what you were saying around this sense of it's like the Seven of Swords, Five of Cups, and the Five of Swords feel a bit around. It's a holding you back from saying yes. So it's like this, you know, this could be the Four of Wands could be that real outcome. What are you saying yes to? And it's like going back to that thing. The advice from the Oracle deck is just say yes. It's like, because sometimes you have to take that leap of faith, and you know, it's like you might feel a bit battle weary. You might be thinking things haven't worked well for me in the past, you know, but actually there's opportunity. After the Five comes the Six, which is a calmer energy. But then we've still got this sort of like Chariot sitting here, which is like, you need to take some action. So the first action is almost like to say the yes. Because when you
Mm,
can take that action is you start moving out of that other energy, don't you? Whereas if you're just sitting, going
yeah.
round and round in circles, then I'm laughing because the world is on the bottom, which is like a
Ah.
completion. So it's like, it feels like the Four of Wands is what awaits, but maybe it
Mm,
is, maybe you're mulling it over. That's why you haven't said yes immediately.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got like a wee shiver.
Oh, soul shivers.
Maybe the chariot, the other thing that pops into my head a little bit is like, because there's the black and the white. Oh, and then justice has popped out. It fell out of my hand. The other thing that I was sort of thinking is like options. So,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's two options on the table. Truth will out's just popped into my head as well from the justice card. Don't know why. What are
People
you
need
saying
to let
yes
us
to,
know.
Sandra?
Well, I'm
What are
waiting
you
for my
saying yes to?
opportunities to come in. Do you know what?
Do
This
you have an
energy.
opportunity on the table? Maybe that's the other question for people is like, people might be like, this doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything to me. But actually, maybe if you take a step back and think, what opportunities are sitting on the table for me at the moment that I'm not seeing or I'm ignoring,
Mm,
or what could I say yes to? And as you say, like the Four of Wands could be, I saw it as maybe like partnership, union, but you also said like celebration. So
mm,
maybe what's the opportunity to celebrate here?
mm-hmm. Yeah. My birthday this month being a Pisces baby.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm. What's coming up for you?
Passes baby. I think there's so maybe this is why I came back to business. Maybe this is me, like the lens from myself is that um like the two five cards and then the seven does feel a little bit like it's like Chip, my inner critic, is a bit like,
Mm,
well, look at this and blah blah blah, and things haven't necessarily worked in the past, and just keep yourself safe and blah blah blah, bullshit, bullshit,
mm,
bullshit. Um, but that's where, if it's something that I, really want in terms of the direction of travel and moving forward, and that's where for me I sort of see the chariot, where it's like you've just got to keep taking small steps forward.
yeah.
Interestingly, obviously the chariot we quite often would read as fast moving energy in some
Mm,
decks, don't we? Where it's like, whereas really like I'm seeing that the sort of the two animals that pull the chariot, they're not moving just yet, but like I think it's, to me it's like it's an action card, like
mm-hmm.
nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
And then the justice where it says like truth will out, what came into my head where I think more around that is that's about the authenticity and what I was just saying around like standing in your own power, be
Mm,
confident in like in who you are, um and that actually things will pay off. And I know that
mm,
sometimes it doesn't feel like that, and maybe that's where like the sort of the two fives and the seven card come in, is because sometimes it's not felt like that in the past, or maybe
mm-hmm.
where you've taken a risk and it's not paid off, or there's been a lot of hurt, or you're just not feeling like you want to be so vulnerable.
Mm.
Truth will out, be yourself, justice will prevail, and that
Oh,
would be that you will get your Four of Wands moment.
yeah. I
Just say
saw like
yes. It all
a
starts with a
gavel.
yes, doesn't it?
Saw a gavel, and when you
Yeah.
said that about justice will prevail, it's like a gavel going down. Yeah. It is a gavel, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
called. I was like,
I know
right.
this has turned into quite a sort of a deep chat. I'm really intrigued to see who like the just say yes. It feels like
Yeah.
it's quite a sort of exciting energy, isn't it? Where it's like, just say yes. Like, come on, let's see
Yeah.
what
See what'll
happens. Just say
happen.
yes. You'll be supported. Trust yourself. It'll all work out. Yeah.
What a cool
Can I share
reading.
something before we go?
Please
Which
do.
was, this is a total random piece of information tying back a previous episode, but I was listening this morning to the episode from end of February, the last one in February,
Hmm.
and we were talking about teachers and people in our lives. And I
Oh
shared a story
no.
about a pair of earrings with the teacher. I am wearing said earrings today.
Oh, how
'Cause I was
lovely is
listening as I was getting
that?
dressed this morning, and I thought, I still have those earrings. Like
Oh,
33 years later.
bloody hell.
They've
Oh,
lasted well, right?
you've lasted
Um,
so well. Oh, they're really
I can't even
pretty.
remember where I got them, but I mean, they're not, they're metal, they're not gold. And in fact, they started off being quite a vibrant gold color of
Yeah.
metal, but they're now just more metal. And they're circles, but I thought it was quite interesting. I still can't remember the teacher's name. It is in my yearbook somewhere, but that's up the loft. But I thought it was an ode. And then it just made me realize that it's funny some of the things that we'll hold on to. And I
Mm.
think every time I put these earrings on, I do think of that teacher and how that, whereas, um, it's funny, isn't it? Anyway, that was
Yeah.
my full circle for now,
Ah, but
circling.
literally little circles as well.
You know,
Oh, I love that.
it's yeah, yeah. No, that was a good episode. I was listening when I was out with Hamish this morning, and your little passing notes in class, Missy.
Oh no. Cheeky.
But
Cheeky.
I know, cheeky, cheeky.
Things we do
Um,
is
I don't know if I feel like I was like, I don't have anything else to say.
we'll wrap it up then.
Do you have anything else to say?
I don't have anything else to say. Just let
This is
us
a weird
know what
ending, isn't it? I feel
this
like it's a
is.
bit like a weird sort of like, just say yes.
Just say
Just say
yes.
yes.
I totally want to know. I would want to know what everybody's going through that they're saying yes to, and also what this eclipse energy might bring, because eclipses tend to be like quite sudden things that are a bit left field, like you said, left field. And it's like something that you might not see coming. A bit of a surprise, perhaps. But
A proposal. That would be so funny. See if someone listens to this and be like, I don't know what this means and blah, blah, blah. And then like the next day, they get a proposal. Just say yes. Maybe we could have our first. I was about to make a really weird, like 90s reference. I was like, maybe we could have our first pod marriage, and then we have to buy
oh,
hats like Scylla.
that would be so cool. You could literally marry them too. Ah, that
So
would be
I
amazing.
could.
Yeah. Imagine
Oh,
that. If this is resonating for somebody, then yeah, let us know and Gail can marry you.
I would do a discount as well. It would be,
I know
yeah,
Taboo discount.
that would be
That would be cool.
amazing, wouldn't it?
That would be amazing. Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. I've not been to a wedding for ages.
Oh, me neither.
Mm.
Me neither.
You've got one booked in for next year, haven't you?
Right.
2027.
I do 2027.
Mm.
Obviously, my diary is open for this year. Should anybody be looking to get married,
There we
maybe
go.
you want a wee quick one. Just, you know, always here.
Keep Gail in mind. There we go. Until the
Absolutely.
next time.
Absolutely. Oh, that was Hamish
Great
here.
job. On cue. He's like, yes, it's time for me to get some attention.
Absolutely. Right, Hamish, say bye. Now he's gone quiet. Say bye. He's come up to say bye.
Oh, he's so
I know.
cute. He's such a little fluff ball. Freddie's giving me the side eye
We
like,
like our
don't you
doggies in
dare.
this pod.
He's like, don't you dare be nice to
I know.
another doggie. Funny.
And on that note, dear listener,
Take
we'll
care.
see you on the next episode.
See you on the flip
See you
side.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, then be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get informed about future episodes. We'll see you next time.